His message arrived at 2:17 a.m. A single line, a single sentence, a single fracture in the life I thought was stable. You should talk to your wife about last night. No name, no explanation, no emotion. Just a digital whisper that felt like a knife pressed against my ribs. I stared at the screen while the ceiling fan hummed above me, steady and indifferent. My wife slept on her side, back turned, breaths smooth, too smooth, a little too practiced. The shadows in the room felt heavier than usual, like they were listening. I didn't wake her, I didn't speak, I didn't move, except to turn the brightness down on my phone as if dimming the truth I wasn't ready to see. But the message stayed, cold, precise, accusing. I read it again and again. My pulse didn't rise, my hands didn't shake. The emotion was quieter, something tight, lower, deeper, like the slow tightening of a wire around a throat. A memory came back in fragments, the company party, the clinking glasses, the music, the low light, and her laughter, too soft, too intimate, directed at a man who wasn't me, her boss. The way she leaned in, the way he touched her elbow like it was a habit, the way she didn't pull away. I had asked her a simple question afterward, calm, controlled. Did you enjoy talking to him? She had smiled, too quickly, too wide. It was just harmless fun, don't be dramatic. Dramatic, a soft word, but it echoed like a slap. Now in the dim hush of early morning, that word tasted different, bitter, metallic, revealing. Something was wrong. And the stranger who messaged me, he knew it. I locked my phone, placed it face down on the nightstand, and stared at her back. I waited for dawn with the patience of a man sharpening a blade. Morning arrived with a brittle silence. She moved through the kitchen with practiced familiarity, pouring coffee, humming, acting untouched by last night's cracks. But I watched her hands. The slight tremor when she thought I wasn't looking. The way she didn't meet my eyes for longer than a second. Every lie leaves residue. She talked about meetings, deadlines, a new project. Her voice felt like a performance she had rehearsed alone. I let her speak. I let her fill the space with noise. But underneath her words, I heard the gaps, the missing details, the invented timelines, the subtle bending of truth like warm metal. I played the part of the distracted husband, thoughtful nods, soft mm-hms, a faint, patient smile. Inside, I mapped every inconsistency, every misplaced breath. The message replayed in my mind like a whisper behind a closed door. You should talk to your wife about last night. Not ask, not trust, not suspect. Talk. Someone had seen something worth breaking into my night to tell me. Someone had watched enough to feel obligated. And my wife? My wife couldn't hide the guilt glued to her skin. She reached across the table, fingers brushing my wrist. Habit, routine, marital muscle memory. But I felt it. The hesitation, the pause before touch, the doubt behind it. The betrayal wasn't physical yet, not fully. No, this was emotional rot. Slow, quiet, spreading through the bones of our marriage like mold in a dark room. She left for work with a quick kiss she didn't mean. I stood at the doorway long after she was gone. The air felt wrong, shifted, contaminated. I knew the truth wasn't supposed to be confronted yet, not without evidence. Suspicion is noise. Proof is a weapon, and I needed the latter. I began softly, silently, like slipping into a river without disturbing the surface. Phone records, location logs, deleted messages retrieved from cloud backups I knew she forgot about. Patterns. Times she came home a little too happy, or a little too tired. I didn't need to hack anything. People reveal more through habits than secrets. Her boss's name appeared too often. Lunch breaks that didn't match her calendar. late evening emails she claimed were urgent tasks, and pictures from the company party, posted, deleted, reposted by others, told their own story. His hand brushing her lower back, her leaning toward him, shoulders relaxed, eyes soft. Not a mistake, not a boundary slip, a connection. My chest didn't burn, it froze. Cold clarity does that. It numbs the unnecessary emotions. I went further. A quiet message to the unknown number that had texted me. What exactly happened last night? The reply came 10 minutes later. Another single sentence. Check the security cameras at the venue. I did. I watched her step outside with him, not once, twice, 3 times. Not kisses, not touches. Something worse. Intimacy. The kind built from long conversations, shared glances, unspoken longing. Emotional betrayal. The kind that eats the mind more brutally than a physical act. I took notes, captured timestamps, collected details like ammunition. Every piece of evidence tightened the wire inside my chest. But I didn't confront her, not yet. Confrontation is a climax, revenge is an ending. Truth is the blade that must be sharpened first. The final proof came unexpectedly, an HR report forwarded anonymously to me, a complaint, filed by someone unnamed. Excessive personal interaction between employee and supervisor during work hours. Attached were photos, messages, times, dates. The truth wasn't just a suspicion anymore, it was a verdict. I printed everything, bound it in a clear folder, placed it gently on the kitchen counter. Then I sat, calm, still, waiting. She walked in at 7:42 p.m., humming again. Her eyes landed on the folder. The humming stopped. She flipped through the pages. Her breath hitched, her face drained, then crumpled. "Where did you—" I cut her off with a single question. How long? Just 2 words, but they shattered her. She collapsed into a mess of excuses. "It wasn't what it looks like. I didn't mean for it to happen. You're overreacting. I didn't cross any line. It was just emotional." Just, she cried. I watched. Her tears tasted like lies. I remained still, calm, composed, the eye of the storm she created. I slid one final page toward her, a printed resignation letter with her signature already forged, perfectly, cleanly. "I sent this to HR an hour ago," I said. Her eyes widened with horror. "What? You can't? I didn't! You ruined my job!" "No," I replied, voice flat. "You ruined your job. I just removed the man you chose over me." She stumbled back like I had struck her. She begged. She pleaded. She reached for my hand. I stepped away. The most painful revenge is silence. The most devastating punishment is calm. And in that moment, she finally understood the cost of her harmless fun. I packed quietly that night. No yelling, no final argument, no dramatic exit. Just clarity. She watched me, shaking, trying to make sense of the man who no longer bled for her. "Please, don't leave," she whispered. But her voice didn't reach me. I had crossed the threshold from pain to understanding. And once you see the truth, you cannot return to the illusion that protected you. At the door, I paused. Not for her, for myself. For the version of me that believed her laughter was his by accident, not invitation. When I finally spoke, my voice was steady. "You didn't lose me tonight. You gave me back to myself." And I walked out. The quiet behind me felt like justice.